Hey YouTube, it's me, nassuman, back from this is my next vlog, next new NassuVlog, and finally we're gonna get down to business. Then my last vlog was kind of late. Holidays got in the way, and I didn't want to try to rush anything with that. I got a pretty good Christmas haul. I think one of the nice ones. I got the Viacon from Transformers Prime, from the Robots in Disguise line. He has, I gotta tell you, he's one of the really cool ones. He's got, like, in his, okay, so I know it's not the best quality camera, but in his legs here, and this is just something I want to tell you, in his legs here, there's just some absolutely wonderful engineering going on, because essentially all his kibble, like, since he's a car, all of the car, like the top part of the car, like everything that would make it a car, just kind of folds up into his legs and just disappears entirely. And it just allows this really great, expressive kind of poses to be had, and really great. Like, he doesn't feel clunky at all, which is really cool. He's got these big old shoulders, but he just makes it work. So this guy was a really good Christmas present that I got from my roommates, so I'm really happy about that. I got a few presents for myself, of course. I got the Shinken Red from, it's the Toys R Us. This is one that came in Toys R Us, and these have been in the States for a while. See, there was a thing back when Samurai first came out that they wanted to try figure arts in America, and let me just pull them out real quick. And so one of the things was, of course, since Power Ranger Samurai was getting really big, they were just going to do it with this. And he is, I will say this, he's one of the first, I think he actually is the first Super Sentai figure art, and it shows. I mean, he's not perfect. He's by far no means perfect, and no figure arts is. I could find something on each of them. But he's got some interesting things going on here. If you look at his shoulders, he's got a little bit of some weird stuff going on his shoulders. Is jointed. You can kind of clearly tell that, like, his body part's really segmented, which a lot of Kamen Rider figure arts get away with the whole armor thing. Well, he doesn't really have that luxury, but he comes with just an absolute, ton of accessories. Like, he just comes with just tons of stuff. In fact, he has another big old piece of plastic. It's called the Reka Daizento. I hope I'm saying that right, because it's Japanese and I ain't much Shinkenger. I like the design a lot, but I really didn't watch Shinkenger, and I might eventually get around to it, but who knows? But no, it's got this huge sword thing. It's called the Fire Smasher in English, but I guess that's not really that's kind of the dumb names that came from Power Ranger Samurai. They just took most of the plot and just tacked it on with American names and all that crap. I remember watching some episodes of Power Ranger Samurai, and it was just the cheesiest thing I've ever seen. And that's enough on that. So that's my sort of my Christmas haul. I got a couple of other things that are just not within reach. If you've been noticing, if you've been following me, I have been doing some Let's Plays that are really cool with Sonic Generations and my roommate John. I hope to do some more of those. I'm kind of hoping to do some solo with Street Fighter Cross Tekken, maybe, just maybe, some with Guild Wars, maybe just talking a little bit. One thing I want to point out about the Let's Plays is they're not so much traditional Let's Plays. The games are just, like us playing the game is just a really good backdrop, in my perspective, for good conversation. And there's a lot to be said about that. There's a lot to be said about good conversation and really just having fun with the game itself. So that's really what that is. I've got an external hard drive now, so I can do a little bit more in the way of editing, because I can get I can finally get my footage. I can get all my footage in. I might be doing some reviews, maybe. I don't want to really get into that as much, because I just don't want to fall into that I'm an internet reviewer kind of guy, because I like talking about stuff, and I'd rather just open up a forum of discussion rather than just say, here's my 2 cents and we're done with that. Also, it's just a lot of work to do that. One day, I mean, I might do some, and then toy reviews are kind of quick and dirty and fun. Another thing I wanted to talk about, which is, last week we didn't get any Kamen Rider Super Sentai because of the New Year's and what have you. So, I wanted to kind of start something which is like a weekly review. And I know tomorrow, of course, we're going to be getting some. The Raws are going to come out, and Overtime is obviously going to do some subs. This coming week, we're going to be seeing Kamen Rider Beast is coming out. Oh my god, his design is great. The designs... Okay, let me just take it back a bit. Alright. So let's talk about piece by piece. First off, Kamen Rider Wizard. Kamen Rider Wizard, first things I gotta say about that, design-wise, I'm loving it. I like how it looks. I like how Wizard looks. His design is really elegant and minimalistic, and it captures his whole appeal really easy. But the problem with it is sort of a Kuga thing. Let me put this in better terms. With Kuga, Kamen Rider Kuga has a really simplistic design, and it builds upon that design by, his form changes. And with he goes into sort of, we have the Pegasus, the Titan, all that. And then he goes into Rising, which then adds a little bit more detail. It's a subtle change, too. It's not a huge, aesthetic change, but it's enough to let you know that there's something else going on here. Well, another thing about that is that we see Kuga grow as a character. We see him grow in his power, and we see him learning to use these, but instead with the Wizard, what we're seeing is that he already knows this, which is a very, it takes it a lot from, the double kind of mentality that you already got all your modes and you could just use them. So then you have the new thing, which is the dragon forms, which are just essentially upgrades, which I would say, I could argue that they're like Rising, but they have none of the impact that Rising had in terms of the story. So what you get is oh, check out this new form that just is stronger than my other forms, but they're just happening. They're not we see at least he earned the first one, but the others are just kind of falling into his hands, and he can use them without having to pay a price. Except we see some stuff talk about Wise Man is hinting that, oh, look, I'm going to use these, make them fall into space. So there's a little bit more going on there below the surface. And I'm hoping Wizard keeps up this really great narrative. Well, it's not a wonderful narrative, but it's not the best that I've seen in a while. I had some problems with 4A. I've definitely had some problems with O's, which I'll talk to you about later. But what I'm finding with Wizard is that it's at least taking itself a little bit slower, but there's a problem that it might be taking itself a little bit too slow. So, but we're only 17 episodes in. Trust me, we got 30 more left. Now let's talk about Go Busters. Oh my gosh. Go Busters has proven that it is a really well-handled and well done series. The last arc that we saw was of course the Christmas episode, the obligatory Christmas episode. But the thing about it is that at the beginning of the series, they establish how important Christmas is, and later on, you're seeing that Christmas is a really important thing for your characters. And then the Christmas episode, of course, is a humongous climax. It's like this is what an end of a series looks like. This is what the final episodes should look like. But then it's not. You see, they defeated the big bad twice now. They've beaten him twice. And the problem, though, is that while Enter's really entertaining to watch, he's just not going down. And so you have these huge, big, great, shining moments. But I just cannot believe that Enter the character as the primary antagonist can carry the finale of the series. And it's gotten really dark, it's gotten really serious, and of course, right after that, it's gonna be a comedy episode, it's gonna be a funny episode. But can it continue the quality of writing, or at least the quality of just hype that these other things are coming with? And I just cannot believe it. I cannot, in my mind, believe that Go Busters can keep this up. Or that it will end as well as it's been at its high points. And I could talk on and on about Go Busters, and I would probably dedicate something just for that. But it's just going to be another comedy episode that I hope, like, really does something to like, at least, we don't need to know any more about the characters. We've learned enough about them. There's developments there. We already done it, and it comes in full circle. It comes in full strength to the Christmas episode. So there's that. So I've talked about Wizard. I've talked about Go Busters. What else can I talk about? Well, apparently, Kyoruger happened. You know, that's happening. We're seeing Kyoruger, and I don't like the designs. I love dinosaurs. I love it when we use dinosaurs as a design motif. It's really cool. And historically, it's been pretty well. We've had, I mean, of course, you had Zhu Ranger, which is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which is great designs. They're classic. They're iconic. And I think they're more iconic in America than they are in Japan because, of course, we saw them longer. We saw them for 2 years. We saw them for like 3 years straight, and they're the most easily recognizable Power Ranger season, just of them all. We know it. And of course, you had Aba Ranger or Dino Thunder, and those were just brilliant designs. I remember when I first saw them, I didn't think anything of it because it just felt not enough. It just felt so minimalist. But then you see it move, and then you see in action how it flows and how it works, and it's great. And then when I see Kyoruger, it's all clunky and gaudy and just ugly. It's not cool. Like, their gear looks great, and their Zords look great. But the suits themselves just look ugly. Just look hideous. And that's kind of upsetting because for the past couple years, we've been getting some great suit designs. Say what you will about Ghost Ranger, but that's a great design. Those are just sexy designs. Samurai, Shinkenger, great designs. Gokaiger, oh my god. And then Go Busters comes in and just takes it, like we see these big flashy designs and then takes it minimalist again with Go Busters and wow, what am I saying? It's a great design. And I don't know if it's karma, I don't know if it's just like, it had to get bad somewhere, but Kyoruger just doesn't do it for me. It's not working for me. So this is me talking about, that's Tokusatsu there. That's me sounding off on Tokusatsu this week. Other things that are coming down the pipeline. More Let's Plays. More games, possibly. We're going to be playing some more. I might be doing some more solo stuff. Yard Gnome is definitely always willing to help me play through some stuff. He's a great guy to deal with. A great guy to work with. And I hope that you guys will keep watching. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, and tell all your friends. This is NassuMan, signing out.